This is a Suboptimal podcast. Check out our suboptimal content at suboptimal.co.
All right, everybody. Welcome to episode number 28 of 2.5 Weebs. This week we're going to be talking about the first 3 episodes of Fire Force. How are you guys doing today? Copper and Comfy, as always, joining.
I'm having a great time.
I'm getting the flu, so I mean, there's
that.
Please don't get
sucks.
the flu.
That's
I don't want to get the flu. I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of need you to not have the flu.
How dare you inconvenience us and have the flu?
Stop. I also said Copper what I'm going to make as an emote.
Yes, you did.
I'm just gonna make that one an Illustrator, just like you taught me. It's a joke. He doesn't teach me anything.
You'd have to be capable of learning first.
Fuck. I'm like 90% convinced that Copper despises me as a human being. I'm also 90% convinced that it's all a joke, and it's way funnier that way.
I have no idea. It's hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
I think Copper's just a dick, so like you never know. You just never know with Copper.
And that's my secret, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm always a dick.
See, Comfy got the reference.
Would someone like to run through the episodes and explain everything that happened?
Okay.
So
this show, Fire Force, is all about how people literally fight fire with fire. Well, what do they say?
Technically, they're pyrotechnics, or kinetics. So they're psychics who can control fire, and the further generation you are in that line of psychics, the more powerful you become.
Yeah, I don't remember what the first generation was.
They haven't shown anyone from first generation
they haven't
yet.
shown anyone from first generation. They showed second generation, which was Maki, and she has the ability to control flames but can't create any of her own.
Right, she can alter and control flames, and then third generation people can create flame as well as control a particular type of flame. So we have.
They are all unique though in the way that they control it. So
their manifestations
fire
are
out of his feet, and the cat girl can shoot fire out of her ass.
Well, she gets tail. She gets. I think she's more of a fox, like a twin-tailed fox.
We don't get to meet her at all until episode 3. So
you got.
I was throwing that out there because we were explaining the difference.
Yeah, there's 3 characters we see that are third generation. There's our main character, who picked up the name the Devil's Footprints because he can create fire from his feet.
No, he just got the nickname the Devil. They just call him the Devil.
Yeah, they call him the Devil as a short. His feet actually leave burning footprints.
Okay, I understand.
You've got the cat fox girl who creates 2 twin tails of fire as well as that she can alter and control.
Yeah, she uses them kind of like whips. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you've got the other guy who styles himself after a knight who is,
I don't like him,
of course, named Arthur.
Was it?
Hey, can we?
Yeah, his name is
Why
his
the
name is
fuck
Arthur.
do you have a sheath for your lightsaber?
Right.
And he
Why does he have a sheath? It's so dumb.
If he lit it as he pulled it out, I could see it coming, but he just pulls it off the hilt, like he snaps it off like a fucking Slim Jim.
It just like pops. He has a sword hilt that allows him to better control his flame, and his flame is actually so dense and hot it actually creates plasma in the form of a blue blade. So he basically has a lightsaber, quite literally.
It's a lightsaber, but instead of using a Kyber crystal, it's using his own power that he's pushing into it. It's basically like if he were to use a magnifying glass.
So the
condensing it.
General concept is that these characters, as well as some others, are members of firefighting brigades that, rather than fighting normal fires, they are tasked with fighting what are called infernals, which are people who spontaneously combust. But rather than this just plainly killing them, it turns them into fire monsters that either then go on rampages or have a little bit of control and don't do much from what we've seen from one episode. But they're basically mindless and dead at this point, and a hazard to everything around them, though. So it's these people's job to go and contain, and they put to rest these individuals, these infernals, which is basically destroying their heart.
Because allegedly, because we don't know,
Right.
Their souls are in pain.
Yeah.
Like they're not having a good time.
I mean, they are
in fire. It's assumed that because they're lashing out, it's because they're in pain.
They're in pain. So,
which is a good assumption, to be fair.
And the Fire Force is made up of 3 different groups that come together to form it. You have the actual firemen group that come in from there.
People that put out
You
the fire
have
literally with water.
Well, these are all members. Like, it's 3 groups that came together to form the Special Brigade. So you have members from the actual firemen. You have members from the military.
Yep.
Maki is actually one such. She used to be a soldier. And you have members from the church. In particular, it's the Church of Soul. For those who don't know, that's the name of our sun. So it's the Church of Fire, basically.
It's also the name of our solar system in Destiny. Fun fact.
Well, this is the actual soul system, so these are named after stars.
Yeah.
Because we got soul.
And then in the beginning, they talk about how, like, was it spirits or whatever that would, like, cause people to just turn into, like, fire demons, where they basically just get consumed.
They don't know the cause of why people are turning into these fire demons. It is.
So that's
one of the goals of the Fire Force.
Yeah, the Fire Force has 2 goals. One, to contain and release infernals from their suffering and prevent harm to the populace. And the other goal is to find out why people are turning into infernals and, put a stop to it. We also learn in episode 2-ish, 3, that the world has been very, very screwed up because of this happening all around the world. Countries have collapsed. There has been widespread destruction in a lot of places. And the area of Tokyo, where this takes place, referred to as the Empire of Tokyo, is actually kind of a large city-state by itself, where the Fire Force, these people are located.
Yes, and there's 8 different forces that they have.
There are 8 different units. Units 1 to 7, which are.
We'll talk about that when we get to episode 3.
Yeah, so units 1 to 7.
Hold on a second. Do you have audio to OBS?
Do I have audio to OBS? I don't know. Let me check.
I see people in chat.
You know what? You bring up an excellent point. Thanks, chat, for pointing that out, because you're not a real streamer unless you stream to nothingness.
Unless you stream
where people can't hear you
for 20 minutes. Yeah, we've all been
where
there.
people can't hear you. Yeah.
Well, they can hear you guys now.
Hello, Cubby's chat.
Yep.
Let's see. Hey, you can hear me now.
Okay, so there we go.
I did it, guys. We fixed it. Hey. I'm sorry. I probably should have had chat up.
It's okay.
But we fixed it. We're all good. Okay. Yeah. So So episode 1 basically starts off a bunch of people on a train, and then as you can
the
assume,
Fire Force shows up after somebody just randomly catches on fire.
The train just blows up, and some dude turns into a giant pile of fire.
Yes.
So,
and then you have this dude who you don't know is saying, "I'm going to put this guy down," and then all of a sudden, the actual the firefighters show up, and there's 4 of them. One who is only there as she doesn't do anything. The priestess chick, who literally does nothing.
She prays.
What does that do? Does it actually do anything?
So
it's a religion thing.
But does it help? Because if it doesn't help, all she's there is going to cause problems. Like, that's one other person that you have to look out for.
We don't know if their God's real or not. We don't know if this is a goddamn false religion. This could be like an actual thing, and it could be someone who's just trying to offer peace to people. Either way, it's not necessarily bad.
Yeah, we have no idea.
You have to look at it as to if she's there and her presence doesn't actually help. All she's there doing is creating another person that you might have to save, because she doesn't bring anything.
There's the thing. As far as, remember, the Fire Force itself is made up of 3 branches. One
I
of them
understand.
is the church.
But
and
I get it.
The reason for that is that everybody there, including the populace, believe that the church plays an active role because souls are real, and the prayers need to be said by a member of the church for this person's soul to be saved. So a member of the church has to be there.
There you go.
But is that
I don't know
actually?
why we have to argue
do we
why
know
we
that?
need more prayer in schools. So that's a joke.
See, the thing, like, but do we
the
know
train,
if
the train blows up? Some dude walks up. He's got a creepy smile on his face. He's like, "I'm gonna kick their asses," and then Fire Force shows up. And is like, "Fuck off, kid."
But then he saves the priestess by using his
they do a
feet
bunch of
powers.
badass stuff, and then some stuff's about to fall on the priestess, and he uses his foot jets, much like Fire Lord Ozai in the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Wonder where they got
And
that
like
from.
pushes her out of the
And-
way of a falling sign.
Then he grabs her and moves her out of the way.
And once again, what would she do? I don't know.
Once again, what?
She's there for no reason, probably. Also, can we point out the fact that like they're wearing metal on their outfits? Why the fuck are they wearing metal?
Because it doesn't melt.
It's
Yeah, but there's plenty of other things that don't melt, that don't conduct heat in the way that metal does.
and we don't know it's metal and not a composite.
I mean,
Damn. Thanks, Copper, for speaking reason.
it looks like metal fucking armor, and it's terrible.
Uh-huh.
mean,
And some composite plates look like metal, and they're not.
Okay.
And you know it.
You do know it by feel. Like it's one of those very jarring things that it's like, oh, that's obviously steel, and then you touch it and it feels like a strong plastic. You're like, all right, don't know what that is, but we're good. So
They're probably metallic ceramic composites, more than likely,
that would make a lot of sense.
because you have the strength of metal plus the heat resistance.
Yeah. But so then
Could
he
be
saves the
aluminum,
priestess,
but aluminum wouldn't
and-
serve a purpose though, because it's not hard enough to be any kind of armor shard.
I
No,
love-
these are definitely a piece of armor and weapons, so they are probably a composite. It's also a very nitpicky point that I don't know why Dale bothered to bring up.
Because like, okay, look, there's a whole when we talked about this show to begin with, the whole concept it was like they're firefighters. Listen,
like shooting fire out of
listen.
you. It stops being scientific.
listen, you guys were like, they're firefighters, and they were explaining it to me, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So they fight fires, and you know, normal.
We also
firemen
told
stuff.
you they were
no,
psychics who used
but hold
fire
on,
abilities.
they're this is anime, so they are like actual like pyrokinetics. I hate.
Hey, what's an anime that Dale likes? I want to rip it to shreds really quick.
Oh, do you guys like this show? I mean,
This show is good.
I
Spoiler.
hated
third episode, like I was like kind of on board, and the end of the third episode hooked me.
I was like super against how they actually dressed up and looked like firefighters.
Oh,
and then
I think it's hilarious.
I
love
hated it. I still don't like it. I think it's still very
So,
corny. But like,
It makes
and then
sense.
just let. Can I? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway,
Doesn't make sense.
what? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Like
Let Dale talk.
I hated, like they are dressed up as firefighters, and then once they went to, I think it was episode 2 where they go to the actual fire scene. It's like, okay, they're working closely with the fire, like the normal fire brigade or whatever you want to call it.
Firefighters.
Yeah, okay, all right, that makes sense for their costumes.
And that they were fighting fires.
Yeah, I mean it's. I don't hate the concept, but it's just too anime, and I hate it.
It's too anime for you.
It's too anime. Like,
it's very
it's-
anime.
It is.
Holy crap! It's so anime.
Uh,
Okay. Then basically, kid saves the nun, and the leader's like, "Oh, are you the new recruit?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, I am." It's like, Why are you smiling like that?" He's like, "Well, when I get really tense, I accidentally smile, and that's the only time I smile because it's ruined my life." So basically, he can't smile unless he's really, really angry or sad. Which,
Stressed.
believe it or not,
Whenever he gets stressed,
uh-huh.
he has
two very contributing emotions to stress. So
he has a stress reaction where it causes him to grin.
in like a really creepy grin too.
Yeah, it's like a rictus grin. It's like this big, giant, all toothy smile. It's not like nice
not
looking at
cute.
all, and
And it's terrible because his entire house burned down when he was a kid. People assumed that it was him because he can shoot fire out of his feet. It makes sense. And even if it was him, which he doesn't even know, it would have been an accident. And he's sitting there in the ashes crying, but he has this massive fucking grin on his face. So everybody's like, he killed his family on purpose. What a fucking asshole.
Yeah, his mother and little brother supposedly died in the fire.
Yeah.
Burnt so fine that there were no bones left.
Yeah.
But
if you don't
shocking,
know-
you find
If
out
you don't know
that
how like hot you have to burn to get rid of bones,
It's really hot. Like
fun fact,
insanely
like,
hot.
when you get ashes for like a loved one that's cremated, they just give you bone dust because everything else burns, but bones do not. Teeth are like the thing that they check. They check dental records when they find a burned body because teeth take so long because the enamel is so strong.
Yep.
And the fact that there's nothing left, like that's just speaking volumes to it. But so he joins the fire force. He meets the rest of the crew, which is the captain, the other dude that I don't think we even see after episode 1.
The lieutenant? No, that's
Shit,
the lieutenant.
right.
He's
Yeah, the
no,
lieutenant.
he's still around. He's still around.
We didn't see him in episode 3. That's probably what I'm thinking. I watched that one like last night.
I think he's only in episode 3 a little bit.
I don't know.
But
Probably like the very beginning. He's lieutenant. He's the second in command.
You see a ton of them in episode 2.
Yeah, you're right. He actually is there a whole lot. He's lieutenant, the second in command.
What is his
captain.
firepower? He has fire powers, right?
None. So there are 3
No,
members of
I
the
thought
crew.
the captain doesn't. The captain doesn't. And
So
the
when
other
they
one-
go when they go out to the fire in episode 2, it actually tells you about them when it shows them getting dressed. So it gives them their names and shows what they are. So there's
generations and stuff. That's what I remember saying Maki and stuff.
There's the captain who is unpowered. There's the lieutenant who is unpowered.
Okay.
The priest or the nun priestess, I don't know
Who
what
is
she
also
is. Sister.
we don't know if she's powered.
It says she's not powered. It says she's not powered.
God, I can't.
Again,
I still hate
there
that
is a
she's
religious element to this, Dale. Stop.
I sure, but why the fuck is she gonna be there? She's just some other person. She's just some other person who can't do anything but get in the fucking way and cause issues. Like when she has to be saved by the dude from the sign, or like the sign that almost falls on her. She's only there to need to be saved.
Is to do the prayer stuff
but
while
is
they're
her job
doing
fucking
this.
relevant? That's the question. Does it matter?
Because to this world, it is relevant, Dale. You're looking at this from your perspective, but you're not looking at it from their worldview. Their worldview is that this religion is real. This is a neat thing that has to be done by ordained members of this church. So an ordained member of this church has to go out.
But do we
with
know
these
if
things,
have they talked about it being actually a thing that happens, or is it all just for tradition?
Dale, it's called faith. People have it.
I understand that.
And people will do things that are personally dangerous to them for it. And this is what she's doing. It's her
also
job.
endangers other people, not just her.
Really?
Yes, it does. It endangers the person that has to come save her ass if she's going to get burnt to a crisp because.
But you haven't seen whether or not she's trained also as a fire person yet.
But
you're assuming she has no training. No, the only time we've seen her in danger is with a sign, unbeknownst to any.
And it's not about the religious aspect of it either. It's just like
there was only one time. It could have been any member of the fire team that was standing there like that and could have gotten hit by that sign and he's saved. You're zeroing in on it because she's the nun.
I want to point out that he's like she has no fire powers. She can't defend herself. Yeah, I'm pretty sure fire powers can't defend you from a fucking falling ceiling. Thank you.
I mean,
unless
but look at the captain. He's like super fucking strong, and
his ass crushed too.
Yes, but that would have killed. Like if the ceiling fell on anybody else, including our fire-powered people or the lieutenant, that would have probably crushed them. The captain is a giant of a human being who trains.
And he's very strong. Yes, I understand.
Relentlessly,
he's also.
To be fair, the captain probably could have lifted that amount of concrete off of him, and just had like some broken bones and stuff. Probably wouldn't have died. Everybody else would have though, 100%.
Yeah. And like, I get why he's allowed to come hang out with the cool fire people because he has the ability to not be dead.
He doesn't have any powers. He's fucking
well,
worthless.
we also learn about the captain
nun.
That the captain is he was from the firefighters originally when he joined the special brigade. He was actually twice decorated, so he's a very, very good firefighter. But again, doesn't really matter. Not an actual point that matters at all. It really doesn't.
So, as we continue the first episode, then they go to the first fire, right? In the first episode?
So the first episode, they go to the factory fire.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Where they battle the Infernal. You get a little backstory from our main character when he gets knocked out.
That's when you get some of the flashbacks of like the house burning down and
Yes.
like
And
the
then
firefighters like holding his hand, and he's crying and all that.
Infernal character is taken care of, and he gets his first taste of what it is, where the populace views what they do when they put down an Infernal, where he has an interaction with the man's with the Infernal's husband, because it was his wife. So you get a little taste of, and then episode 2 they go a little more into about the terror that is basically something everybody in the world lives with, that they could spontaneously turn into one of these creatures and die,
Just
and
for
then
no reason that we
kill
are
everything
aware
around
of,
them. Yeah,
at
yeah.
least,
No one knows, right? They have no idea why people turn to these things, but it's a fear everybody lives with. And episode 2, we meet the next character, which is Arthur. He also comes in as a rookie to the 8th. It shows a little bit of the abilities of Maki at that point as well, with her ability to control flame.
Yeah, she's like clearing pathways and stuff, which is super dope.
Yeah, she's much more practiced than those two are. They are just straight out of the academy, it mentions she's been a firefighter for a while.
Who are both? Who's straight out of the academy?
Our main character.
I know the main character. Who else?
Arthur. Arthur was.
He's not even in episode 2.
Arthur's not at this fight though.
Yeah. No. In episode 2.
No, they're not.
Oh, we've moved on past the
yeah,
factory fire.
Yeah, the factory fire. That's just flashback and that.
And then they kill the Infernal, and that's pretty much it. And they do a prayer, and he
Arthur's in episode 2, because episode 3 is the start of the rookie games.
No, episode 2 is like it. If there was a reason for episode 2, it was to introduce Arthur as a character.
Yeah, it introduces Arthur. Then it also shows the next fire, where it's the guy who turns into an Infernal, who's just sitting at his table. He doesn't do anything.
Literally, it's just like a dude in a suit with like a flaming head.
Yeah, and
like,
we learned that
Infernals to this point have been like fully just bathed in flames, like massive destruction everywhere. And this dude is just sitting at his kitchen table, not burning anything, and he just looks at them and smiles. He's like, "Yo, what's up, dude?"
And we learned that the captain has a very strict stance upon how things are to be done in his brigade. That you're not supposed to show your weapons to the general populace, to the next of kin, because you are technically killing their loved one, even though they are one of these fire creatures now.
Right, one second, guys. 1 second.
I like the captain so much for that. Like,
hopefully I was having some issues with Discord.
Cool.
Should be better. Hopefully.
All right. I like the captain a lot for that, because he just tells them like ahead of time. He's like, "Hey guys, just remember, like, don't show your weapons outside. That's all I ask. Like, it's not a hard thing." And then like right before they go inside,
the two of them pull out their weapons.
He pulls out the main character, who I don't even remember his name, pulls out his little hatchet that he was given, and Arthur pulls out his like lightsaber hilt. The captain's like, "All right, you two over here." And he's like, "Listen, I'm not mad.
What did I just tell you?"
But here's the thing. You don't do that, because we are putting them to rest and we are helping them, but you need to realize we're also killing them. Yeah. Like, we're straight up murdering their next of kin, which is that's terrible. And like, you don't want to do that. We're there to help the people and give them hope, not to give them despair, essentially.
And it's really poignant in this case, because this particular fire they go to, like Infernal, they go to fight.
The girl's mom had already become an Infernal,
the girl's mom
became an Infernal.
Like, a year or 2 years ago, I think they say that her mom became Infernal and her dad became Infernal, and she's like literally freaking out that she's going to be next.
Panic attacks, like, because we don't know if it's genetic, we don't know if it's locational. Like, if I'm in this region of the city, if I've been exposed to these chemicals that will make me explode, like that kind of thing. And there's all these things running around, and but they get inside. The dude's sitting at the table, and then
calm,
super calm. Arthur walks up behind the chair, puts the hilt up to it, says the prayer, activates his lightsaber, and stabs him through the heart, which is like one of the best ways to kill someone with a lightsaber. But I still hate Arthur as a character.
And it's the only way to kill an Infernal is to destroy their heart.
Yeah, to destroy their core is the word that they use.
Which is where their heart was.
It's like in their chest.
Are you guys having any Discord issues?
No.
Okay, I'm getting static from you guys.
And then
You're probably getting static from my audio.
It's
the
both of you.
last
It's both of you.
most important part
It's on my end.
of that episode is we are introduced to an antagonist character, the guy in the fedora, who
Nice.
spills out this black powder stuff that causes an explosion that collapses the roof. And that's basically his whole appearance there. Episode 3, we go to the day 1 of what are called the rookie
It's
games.
like these things exist in real life. Like they're like firefighter competitions where they like test to see like how quickly you can climb to like the 4th floor of a building using a ladder, how quickly you can put out this fire, what you can lift and run with, because these are all things that are relevant to firefighting.
These are things that exist. This particular one is a rookie game, so
yes,
only the rookies from each company who joined that year are able to compete. So there's a bunch of them there. Arthur's there, so there's our main character. This is where we meet the fire cat girl.
Listen, I'm okay with her being a fox girl. Just other fox girls have put me off in the past, I'll be honest.
Yeah. So we meet them. She's there. He sees the captain of the first. Well, what he finds out is the captain of the 1st Brigade.
Yeah, Geralt.
And it turns out that guy is the guy who, in the flashbacks, was standing with him in the remains of his house when he was a child.
He was the one who was with him the entire time.
And he wants to know if he's got questions for him. He wants to know if he'd seen anything in the house because, as far as he can recall, there was something else in the house that caused the fire. He keeps getting flashbacks of this like horned monster thing. So
as though there were another infernal there.
Yes.
Or something.
So the games start.
I need to fix audio. Can we hold on a sec?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Today.
You're a little buzzy when you talk, but I don't hear like the static that Dale's talking about.
No, I'm getting it from both of you guys.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah, then like copper's clear as day to me. So
it's something on my end. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's Discord weird for me or if it's this audio software being a motherfucker. I don't really know exactly.
It might just be Discord that is usually the issue.
Discord I don't think I seems to have stopped.
Worst case scenario, we can download the VOD from my stream and use my audio from 20 minutes in.
It's not that bad. I don't think it's a huge deal.
I like that from 20 minutes in.
Dude, I saw a tweet like yesterday that was like, "You're not a real streamer if you don't talk with your mic muted for 20 minutes." And I was like, yeah, accurate.
Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, I think we're probably fixed.
Yeah. All right. So they're at the rookie fire games, and it's basically all the rookies go in, and they need to find the staff member who's being an infernal, and they need to take him out.
Yeah,
and
the first person who gets there and basically taps the guy is the one who wins. So everybody rushes the door. Our main character, because he basically has jets for feet, says he just waits till everybody runs ahead of him and then literally flies up the building to the top of it, where he'd seen the staff member waving before the thing started.
He basically cheated.
And he's like, when he gets up there, he's greeted by Gambit from the Marvel comics.
Yeah, so our fedora wearing guy is upstairs. He's knocked out the staff members up the top, and he basically gets into a fight with our main character, and teases him with information that he knows about the fire and what caused it when he was a kid.
And like his brother's not actually dead.
Yeah, he tries saying his brother's not actually dead. That's why they didn't find any remains from him.
And he also runs into the captain that saved him.
Come hang out with me.
Yeah,
he's throwing out that there's like bigger conspiracies and that he's on the right side the entire time and the fire force is bad.
So then he starts using more of the powder, which he can control somehow and cause explosions with. He can also make shapes with smoke and...
It seems that he can control ashes and smoke.
Yeah.
That
as well as
his power, but we don't necessarily know because we haven't talked about it.
As well as make fire cards that he throws like Gambit, which is hilarious.
Yeah, he's literally Gambit / Twisted Fate / any character that uses throwing cards.
Yeah, so they fight for a bit,
that aesthetic,
and then Arthur and the Fox Girl show up,
and they're like, "Hey, that's the staff member. We're gonna get him first."
And he's like, "No, this guy is
like, guys, competition's on hold. Like, this is real. This dude like broke in here and hurt the employees." we got to do something. And they're like, you got it. Fuck you. I'm going to get him first. They get knocked down. And then they're like,
oh, he's actually trying to kill us. And then he's like, okay, we're out of time. So he throws out a ton of stuff to cause a massive explosion. So they're like, we need to leave. So they cut a hole in the ceiling, and then all of them go up through the hole.
Yep.
They get caught on the way down, so everybody's safe and alive. And then the end of the episode comes, and it's our main character talking with the captain, and the captain explains about the 8 different companies and how each of them is linked to different things. So the first company, company 1, is linked very strongly to the church. There's another company that is linked super strongly to the military. There's one that's linked very strongly to, Hajime Corporation, which is the corporation that creates all of their tools and gear. And then company 8, he says, which is his company, was created for the sole purpose of investigating companies 1 through 7 and finding out what they know.
Because all of the companies want to find out why infernals are happening, but they also all want to be the one to find it.
Yes, so each company
not sharing information with each other.
Because they're hugely supported and driven by different sections of society and major players, they each have the same task to fight infernals, find the cause of spontaneous combustion that's creating them, but none of them is sharing any information they've had. And the captain's like, we should know what's going on by now because we have 3rd generation pyrokinetics at this point, which is a good indication that it's been at least 60 years since this has been going on.
As long as it was. But he's saying like we should have this down by now. There's
like someone should have some information and we have nothing. So these companies, they figure, must know something each, and is keeping it from everybody. So his company was put together to fight infernals, find the cause, and investigate the other companies and find out what they know.
That sold me on the series.
And to see if there's anything crooked going on.
Yeah.
And
that's what sold me on the series, is like the fact that it's like, okay, yeah, we're investigating the others because we don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And he's only taking people into the Aether who are people he can directly trust. So we have the Devil's Footprints guy, we have Arthur, who are both new rookies, so obviously no connection to anybody else.
Yeah.
We don't know about Arthur, but our main character has a very personal and strong reason for finding out what's going on. So obviously makes sense. Maki used to be a soldier. Makes sense if he trusts her. Lieutenant, he seems to be very close with. Also makes sense.
The lieutenant seems trustworthy from a standpoint of, I've seen that guy talk to other people, and I know that he's like intentionally doing things to get to the end goal and nothing else.
The only iffy member we have in the crew currently, because we don't know if they actually end up adding more people or not, is our nun, because she would technically have dual loyalties, both to the 8th and to the church, and the church is basically in control of Company 1, so that's an true issue. Yeah, so that's where that leaves off. So that's basically our first 3 episodes.
Yeah, no, I actually like the show.
As to style-wise, the animation in the show is actually very smooth.
Very good.
Voice acting is very good. The fight scenes are great. The fire, how well the fire is animated is incredible.
There's like 2 scenes where they half-ass the fire and it shows, but everything else is amazing.
Yes.
And like, I was actually like sitting there, I was like, wow, they did a really good job with this fire. And then it cuts to like the factory scene, and some of those flames were not great. And I was like, dang it, now I'm upset. But like the rest of it was so good. And you'll know exactly what I'm talking about if you watch that. Like in the factory scene, there's big sweeping shots and they have a lot of fire, and fire is very hard to animate. So I don't really blame them for it.
Yeah, fire is difficult to animate because it's constantly moving.
And it's random and it's unique. Yeah. Every single time.
So because of
like fire being lit 8 different ways, and they'll all be completely different. You could set a blowtorch at a set temperature, at a set pressure, and it'll be different every single time because fire is unpredictable.
And reacts to air, so.
Reacts to everything.
Yeah. So it poses a problem for animators. it's very difficult to make look realistic and interesting, especially when you're using it in fight scenes like that. So
it's also one of the hardest things to get good in like video games and like 3D animation.
Yeah,
because you have to do a lot of just tests and renders and attempting to get things right. So, but they did an excellent job. Like the burning house looks amazing.
Yes,
yeah, I'm glad they reused that scene.
Quite happy with the animation of the show. It's very, very good in comparison to other things we've seen, especially.
Yes, we've seen some shows with some pretty bad animation.
Yeah. Voice acting is really good in Japanese. Okay. Did you watch? Is this available in English or?
I have no idea. I didn't look.
I didn't look for it in English.
Okay.
Oh, this was
I
on
just watched it on Crunchyroll.
There was no dub on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
yeah, I watched this in Crunchyroll as well on the couch, so makes it also a very easy watch because it is on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
It's just a little.
There's a dub on Funimation.
There's a dub on Funimation.
Did you watch it on Funimation? Okay. So yeah, there is a dub. It does exist.
We can't speak to the viability of the dub. I know that there's plenty of shows that have amazing dubs, like Cowboy Bebop, and there's plenty of shows that have terrible dubs. So we'll just.
Yeah. So story-wise, very interested. Animation-wise, great. Voice acting is great. Definitely.
Is this a recommend for me?
Yeah, definitely a recommend for me as well. I know Dale wasn't sold.
Like
he wasn't super into it. He just can't figure out why people are worshiping fire.
We keep saying it all the time where it's like, I don't actually like anime, but there are some shows I like despite them being anime. And this is one of those shows where it's like, yep, it's an anime. I cringed a little bit.
I do get where you're coming from.
I didn't
also
dislike the story. I think the story is interesting. I think the characters are interesting, but the fact that the dude's like, I have this quirk where I smile like a psychopath all the time is cringy and corny, and I hate it.
The entire character of Arthur is off-putting.
You really hate Arthur, don't you?
Well, I hate
but he's the king.
Who are like so like mightier than thou. Like it's just such a terrible look on everybody.
True. And it really is.
And that is his entire personality: is I am better than you. Specifically, you, fuck you, I'm better than you. Like, that's it. And, like, if they gave him more to work with, I'd probably like him more. But as of right now, he's not a good character. So.
No, it's fine.
Also,
so I feel like it has earned 2.5 stars.
Sure, so.
Out of 3, I guess. I don't know.
How many out of 3?
2.5. 2.5 recommendations, I guess.
Yeah, sure. There we go.
Because I'm kind of like,
2.5
I don't care. I don't care about it at all. There we go. Full circle chat. You see what I did? Sometimes
you don't particularly care, but you also recognize it's not a bad show.
Yeah, I guess. It's just like My Hero.
We have seen some bad shows.
Yes, we have.
I think we all know how to recognize a bad show at this point.
Yeah.
Speaking of not bad shows, so Vinland Saga this week.
Yes, our other episode to watch
this week on Thorfinn the Orphan.
This
Thorfinn the Teenage Orphan.
Yeah,
he is a teenage orphan now.
We didn't really get an exact time that has passed from the last episode.
I feel like we got an age somewhere.
But he definitely got bigger. So he's definitely a couple of years older.
I feel like he's like 15, 16 now.
I would go 14 to 16. I wouldn't go anything like above that.
Yeah, I'd say somewhere in there.
He's a young adult, or he's a youth. He can make his own decisions and he can survive on his own, but
he can also murder 800 fucking dudes all by himself.
Yeah, he's badass.
Jesus Christ.
He murders a shit ton of people.
He's so good. He just murders everybody.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember is the very end of this episode because I watched it immediately after the podcast ended last week.
Also, as the resident French person, I completely approve of how they portrayed the French royalty guy as basically a human frog.
There you go.
Yeah. So basically what happens this episode is the Dane king decides to call off the assault on the British for the winter to bring their soldiers home and let them rest. So, God, what
Well, they don't leave. They just stop marching.
Yeah. Well,
because they have a
they
have a beach. Yeah, they have a beachhead on England at that point.
Yeah. Well,
they're just
anywho,
not sailing or marching to war because winter wars suck.
Which leaves Askeladd and his gang out of work for a few months. And they're like, what the fuck are we going to do? So they go to France, and they show up in the middle of, I don't know, like a civil dispute, civil battle. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Hard to say what
year is it.
What reason they're fighting and who is fighting, because they don't give us dates per se. So,
but it takes place in like 1100, doesn't it?
No, wait, they did give us a date.
Know.
It was like what, 1204?
Because
something like that. It's at the start of the episode.
Math is terrifying. I ignore numbers as much as I can.
This is about the rise of William the Conqueror. So that was he was the French king, and he's the reason that English is a fucked up language, by the way. So that
I know it gives.
Right to me. I could be a little off on years. I think it's like 1100 to like 1200, somewhere around there was William the Conqueror.
I think.
I used to be good at history. But basically, France is in a bit of a dispute.
Yeah. But like the main thing is Askeladd decided to show up and go. He sends Thorfinn as a messenger to go offer a deal to the French commander dude, like, hey, we will help you take the fort that you're struggling, because this dude is not a very good tactician. He's just throwing he's just throwing men up against the wall, and they're all dying. And he's like, I have more numbers, I'll win, right? Because he's an idiot. So what he does is he sends Thorfinn as a messenger to go offer him a deal where it's like, I'll help you take the thing over, but then we get some of the loot. And then they do, and Thorfinn tells the guy, it's like, hey, I'm ready to fight you now. I've done enough. And he's like, you have to bring me a head in a helmet.
Yeah, he says,
which
basically is Thorfinn, because Thorfinn is this is still a revenge story. Like, Thorfinn still wants blood. These like 8 years or whatever, like that, because it's been a long ass time with Askeladd. Like, yeah, he's got like friends and stuff on the ship, but that dude still technically killed his dad, and he still wants blood for it. And he's like, and because Askeladd told him, do something great on the battlefield, and I will reward you with a duel. And Thorfinn has been kind of like just one-man armying a whole lot of the battlefield, and so he's like, hey, Askeladd, listen, I've been working real hard at killing people for you. Can I kill you now? And he's like,
basically.
And he's like, give me a head with a helmet. That's the commander, and then you can have your fight. And then, holy shit, Thorfinn
wasn't going to get involved in the fight, and then he was like, hey, that's the commander in the helmet.
That's the commander.
So he like jumps across like an insanely large moat and climbs the wall.
With his knives like in the wall. Like
fucking spider monkey.
It was amazing. And then he gets up, kills all the people up there, beheads the captain, and just like takes it back and chucks it in the ship.
The captain's head falls off the wall into the river in the moat, and he's like, fuck, I'll see you later, guys, and abandons the fight and just jumps off the wall into the water after the dude's head. Like, what the fuck?
Because the head is more important to him than the fight. He doesn't care about the fight.
Yeah. Well, it's not his fight. His fight is with Askeladd and Floki eventually.
So
he gets the head. The battle goes mediocre. You know, they take all the gold and stuff, don't they?
Well, see, the thing is that this fort is not very well protected at all from the river.
From the lake, because
what fucking happened.
And then
to get coming back to me.
Yeah, to get to the lake, you'd have to sail up it, but
there's waterfalls and stuff.
They point that it gets very steep, and there's actually a waterfall because they're in a mountainous area, so you can't actually just sail up the lake. So they never built a lakeside wall or protection or
nothing on the lakeside. There's like a big wall, and then the lakeside is just like a dock.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop people from coming in. So
and all of a sudden, these fucking Vikings
carry their boats.
Running out of the forest, screaming while carrying their boats.
They literally carry their boats through the fucking forest.
I want to point out that Askeladd was just riding the boat the entire time.
Yes, he was. He's not even bothering to carry the boat. He's like,
you guys get to carry a little extra weight. To be fair, honestly, it really didn't make a difference.
No, it wouldn't have. No.
Either him being added to it or being subtracted and helping carry, it really didn't make a difference.
No.
But like, so they chuck the boats in the water and just go around, and they just break everything down, steal all the loot, throw it in the boats, open the gates, and bitch out.
Like they basically take all of the loot that the French commander wanted.
There was a lot. It was like they made a deal that was like splitting 50-50.
But then they just took everything because
the French
fucking
commander's
Vikings.
like, yo, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, we're splitting it 50-50. You get the 50%, that's the base, and we'll get the gold. And that's pretty much. And then he's like, all right, fuckers, row.
We gots to go. They're gonna be pissed.
I believe Thorfinn is like being left behind at this point.
See, the whole time
like,
Askeladd knows he's not really leaving Thorfinn behind. I know.
So basically,
I mean, yes, but
Askeladd he doesn't leave people behind unless they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
But he has no concern whatsoever about leaving Thorfinn behind because he doesn't consider Thorfinn
a part of his crew.
A part of the actual crew.
Mm-hmm.
So they start sailing off with all the treasure that they had basically stolen from this place, having tricked, the one side and then
French dude.
Yeah. So they're sailing away, and they're like, some of the sailors are like, "Where's Thorfinn?" Because a lot of them do consider Thorfinn a member of their crew because
they legitimately like him. Like
he's
they
been with them for years.
They met him.
Yeah, like he's been with them for years. He kills people. He fights beside them, stuff like that. So as far as they're concerned,
brothers in arms thing.
Like he's one of them, right? And he's like, meh. And so then the head comes flying up over the side, and then Thorfinn climbs up. And he's like, I challenge you.
The head goes in.
Yeah, he's like, I challenge you to a duel. And he's like,
I brought you the helmet. I brought you the man. You got to give me a duel now. And he's like, that's cool. We'll do that. But first, can we fucking leave?
He's like, yeah, first we need to leave as arrows start raining down.
He's
they
like,
were being shot at by the
we need
to promise I will fight you later. Like,
but we need to not all die.
This? Which I love. I just love it. It's so great.
Mm-hmm.
But
so yeah. And then they ramp their Viking boats over the little waterfall.
Over the little waterfall, yeah.
Which was kind of dumb.
The waterfall actually isn't all that tall. It's just it's enough to stop you from sailing up the river.
You can go up, but you could go down as long as you had a large enough boat.
Yeah, if your boat was big enough and built for the ocean, where it was basically reinforced to take waves and stuff like that and plunges, you could definitely go off it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the little boats that these guys have, absolutely not. But the Viking boats,
no way.
Oh yeah, go right off and over. So,
but yeah, all in all, another great episode. I still like that show a lot.
Vinland Saga is very good.
So the year we are currently set in, and we went back through episodes, we might find out, and they might give us another date. If we did, we'd have a rough idea of how old he is. Is 1012.
1012. Okay, William the Conqueror was 1028. So it's a little bit of shenanigans going on in France, and then the Normans go up and invade England shortly after.
Yes, we are currently dealing with the English king who picked up the name the Unready.
Yeah, he does get totally screwed over.
I do love how the epithet he gets is the Unready.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, the guy who in like 30 years will kick his ass will be named William the Bastard. So I mean,
yeah,
because the only thing he actually made was a bastardized fucking language. The story there is he invaded England and was like, hey, you guys need to learn my language, which was French, which had Latin roots, and they all spoke a variation of English that had Germanic roots. And then now we have the dumbest language in existence. So if you want to blame a single person for the English language being stupid, blame William the Conqueror.
Thus started the English tradition of borrowing
English
from everywhere.
Second. I have a quote. I used it last night. 1 second. I just have to browse through my memes really quick.
Memes are important, chat. Also, my dog is super cute today.
The English language is actually like really just bad and stupid, and anybody who tells you otherwise is objectively wrong.
Yeah, it's not. It's considered the hardest language to learn for a reason.
Because English
That reason
beats up
being
other
is
languages in dark alleys, then rifles through their pockets for loose grammar and spare vocabulary.
Yep, it takes words and phrases from a ton of different sources.
It takes words and phrases from tons of different sources. It has 80 million rules that don't exist in other languages and that also don't exist in English.
Yes, it has a ton of rules that make no sense because they contradict one another.
Did you guys ever hear I before E except after C?
And then there's like 800.
And then there's like
then there's a ton of
words that don't listen to that rule.
That don't follow that. You also have the fact that every other language has a formal structure of male and female usages for words. English doesn't. Like German even goes so far as having male, female, and neutral.
Yeah, no, like a lot of languages have.
They have a basic
terms.
They have a basic structure. It's a structuralized thing depending on how things work, and it gives you more context for things when you talk and listen to someone. English, nope.
I think English gives you a better way to like express it because you can really screw up the language on purpose.
Yes, but English is a very strange language. Plus, we started making up words because then you had people like Shakespeare who came along and just went, "Screw it, I'm going to make up words, and this is what they mean."
Shakespeare made like 800 words, didn't he?
Yeah, an insane number of. He added an incredible number of words to the English language that had never
was a word from Shakespeare.
Like that never existed before. We still use a lot of them are still in the common vernacular.
Like so many of them. It's weird.
Yeah. It's if you actually look up words he made, it's very bizarre. You're like, that wasn't the thing before he just decided it was a thing? No, it wasn't.
No, the dude, like, listen, like Shakespeare's known as the guy who writes all the plays and did Romeo and Juliet. The dude was fucking smart. Like, he deserves a lot more credit than he's given. He gets all of that credit in the playwright community, but nobody gives it to him in like normal society. So we don't care.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that he made up that is
English
just
you're
like, what? But yeah, English is like the stupidest language. And then you have the fact that it got bastardized further by different groups of people who started cutting letters out of words, so they're not even spelled the same.
Well, now you have like so many different dialects of English now, which is stupid to say like dialects of English because we really don't have them. Like we really just have accents and ways that people talk. Like dialects are meant to be an entirely relatively new language. We just have like Australians, the Brits, the South Africans, and us, and the Canadians, and we all just speak differently in terrible ways. Like, and there's more countries than that speak English regularly. I just know that Canada has it as one of their languages. The United States doesn't have an official language, but it is very strong. South Africa uses English and Afrikaans, and then England and Australia are self-explanatory.
Okay, just as a quick aside, Shakespeare invented over 1,700 of our common words.
Jesus Christ, so many.
By doing certain things such as changing nouns into verbs, verbs into adjectives, connecting words together, adding prefixes and suffixes, devising wholly new original words, and that sort of thing. Basically, things like
he didn't just make up words that sounded funny. He actually like did research and made them.
Yeah, so you have things like dawn, caked, cater, bet, birthplace. Yeah. Label, jaded, lonely, majestic, moonbeam,
the word black,
outbreak, torture, grovel, like arouse, beached, besmirched, amazement. Bedroom wasn't a word before him. Bloodstained wasn't. Buzzer, bump, critic, dauntless, drugged, excitement, flawed, fixture, gossip. Like it's stupid. Like the number of words the man made that everybody uses and doesn't realize is stupid.
Yeah, no, it's like they're not words that you don't use regularly. Like birthplace is something that you look at it, it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense as a word because it's birth and place.
But it wasn't a word before he made it as a word.
To do that. And
yeah,
all you assholes out there that are like, oh, I would have thought to do that. No, you wouldn't have. Shut up. You would have been
There's literally hundreds of years of people before this man existed who were using this language. No one thought of using that word.
Yeah, like you're. If you think that you were that smart, you're wrong. Dude was crazy.
Yeah, there's can you imagine someone doing that nowadays? What people would basically tell them? They're like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you making your words for?"
So, you guys ready for Comfy's wild fucking adventure?
Well,
Yes.
before we get to your wild adventure, we should probably, before we forget, like we did last week, decide on pick
what
a
to
show.
watch next. What was it
So
that you guys were? What you guys had something in mind, and I'm
I
scared.
did the dumbbell show. How big are your? How heavy are your dumbbells?
Yeah, I'm down for that one.
Okay.
It's just a slice of life, essentially. So.
It's a slice of life exercise show.
Mhm.
It'll make you feel bad about not exercising.
Is that like a horror show? Because
I can give you a horror show. I recommended some horror shows a little while ago. Remember?
Because exercise is horrifying.
Horror show?
Because I'm is a fat joke at myself.
Because you're dummy thick.
Yes.
Clap your ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
It keeps alerting something. Okay.
It keeps alerting Comfy.
It keeps sending me text notifications.
And photos. I don't know why he keeps sending photos.
I don't even know how he got my phone number.
You know, the internet is a
It's a wild place.
wonderful thing.
In before my phone number is actually.
You can even sell bathwater on it.
If you really wanted to, you could find my phone number online, guaranteed.
Oh, I could probably
maybe.
just look through your PayPal stuff.
I don't know. I don't think that phone number is on there. But no, I got doxxed like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, you hear about the whole E3 thing?
Yes, so you were in.
I was on that list.
Yeah, you'd be on that list. Yeah, because you were there.
Yeah. That sucks, but like honestly, nobody fucking cares about me.
No,
I'll be fine.
I just love the fact that it's like, oh, our security was breached. Their security was non-existent. It was just basically you go to this link and you can look at it. Like,
how do you possibly think that that's good? People are like setting up for like class action lawsuits and stuff. I'm saving phone calls.
It was literally a unpublished, like an unpublic.
It was a plain text spreadsheet.
Yeah, plain text spreadsheet. No security, no password or anything on it.
Every media member, that includes every single reporter, journalist, streamer, YouTuber, internet personality, all of that.
Like your real name, address, phone number, all that stuff.
Now, not everybody had their address written down.
A very large number.
Yes. No, people have had to move, change phone numbers, and fun fact, people hate games journalists. So if you're a games journalist and your information was there, you're not feeling good. Like Alana Pierce from Funhouse put out a video on it, formerly of IGN. So she has a lot of people that are mad at her all the time. Her phone number got leaked. She had to change it. She had a bunch of people like calling her and just like being assholes and leaving bad messages, and also people asking her on dates, because apparently the best way to ask someone on a date is to get their phone number from a docs list and then say, just randomly, surprised with how much we have in common.
Oh man, you mean that wouldn't work? Shit, I should not have sent those texts.
She like clarified. She's like, if you send somebody a text without their permission to have their phone number, do not expect a good reply.
Look, when I worked in customer service, I used to work for a couple different cell phone companies like Sprint and AT&T. And part of it was activations. During training,
that's like what my dad does.
They spent a day out of your whole training period going over why and how you should not use any information you receive from a customer setting up a phone to contact that customer for personal reasons.
Oh my God. I've heard so many horror stories.
A day.
Of, like,
a whole goddamn day.
People at like the grocery store who, like, when they put in their phone number for like a rewards card or something, either the employee or someone who's in line behind them will write it down and call them later.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
It's weird. So the people think that's like, okay. Like, it's just like that Twitter thing that was going on.
Oh, I got a text from that. Oh my God.
Yeah, where it's your
there was a thing trending on Twitter called, what was it, Number Neighbor? I got a text message from somebody whose number was one digit off from mine. They were like, "Hi, Number Neighbor," and I was, of course, like, "What the fuck is this?"
You were supposed to do. You're supposed to like take your number, but instead of putting like, let's say your last number was 8, you're supposed to put a 9 instead and send a text and saying, "Hi, I'm your Number Neighbor." Yeah, because that's not creepy and invasive as shit.
Yeah, this person tried to have a fucking conversation, and I was like, "No, stop."
You just don't
Shut
respond,
up.
honestly. Like, you don't respond, and if they send you a second text, you blacklist the number. That's it.
Yeah,
so dumb.
It's funny and it's cute and all of that until you have to deal with it, and it's fucking annoying.
Until you
don't text random strangers.
Randomly text a random stranger
Right.
who happens to be 10 and their parents freak the fuck out on you.
Yeah,
So-
that's the
Yeah,
point that
like-
I brought up. Like, what if I was
Liability.
somebody was like, well, why does a 10-year-old have a phone? 10-year-olds have phones nowadays. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like, no, it's true.
That's a thing.
Like,
They
that's
do,
100%
whether-
a thing.
Mostly because
whether
their
or
parents
not
want them to
you-
be entertained.
Yeah, and
Like-
whether or not you agree with it, you know kids have phones. So
Yes.
texting a random number and trying to initiate contact with that person who might be a minor is a really bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
don't
would say
do it,
stray
internet.
away from that one.
don't do it.
Like, honestly,
It's bad news.
That trend falls into the same trend as eating Tide Pods. And if you do
God.
either one, you kind of deserve the results.
yeah. But yeah, so don't fucking text your number neighbors, guys. It's
Don't
Also,
do it.
don't eat Tide. Do
It's a
not eat
funny-
Tide
Don't
Pods.
And
don't eat
all of the
don't
good
eat
ones
Tide
are,
Pods
like,
either. Instead
all
of
of the
Tide
good
Pods,
number
eat the
neighbor
dishwasher
memes
ones. They're way
are
safer.
all just fake.
And you're no, don't do that either. That's also dumb. Don't do that, guys. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, we're gonna start a new sub-op thing. We're gonna be doing the Tide Pod challenge. So what it is you need to fit as many Tide Pods in your mouth at once as you can.
Uh-huh.
And then if you throw up, then you lose. If you die, you win.
Oh, that sounds like a lose-lose.
Sounds like Comfy's going for number one.
God damn. Oh, so all right. So we're gonna watch Dumbbells next week.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. The Comfy's
So-
Wild Adventure.
So for those who are listening and have stayed through our rambling, that
Once
is how
can
Ham-
I need to do Discord again real quick. 1 sec before we start. I'm annoyed. Okay, hopefully it
I
will
annoyed, I'm
start
Copper.
back up. Really? Jesus Christ.
I got him with the dad joke. Okay.
Don't brag about that. You're a piece of shit. All right.
So we are going to be doing how heavy are your dumbbells. I'm going to drop the Japanese name in Dale's chat. I am
Probably gonna
dumbbell non-kilo maturo.
Yeah,
Matero.
and I'm also going to drop that
That's
into
a-
our anime
Maturo.
channels in the
Sweet.
Discord there, so you guys can find it.
What
in
is
ours.
this show on? What can I watch this on?
It's on Crunchyroll.
It's on Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
So I
found a
can
nice
torture
easy one
Kaylee.
that's
I
easy
like
to go
I
over.
like to find shows that are on Crunchyroll.
Yes.
Me too, because then I can watch
so
them. Also, what was another show that we were watching a while ago that I discovered is on Amazon Prime? It was something we did for the show, for the podcast. I don't remember.
Was it the one with the dude with no skin?
On Amazon
Yeah,
Prime?
yeah,
Yeah, what's
Dororo.
I don't remember what it Dororo.
yeah.
Dororo.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's
It is on
Amazon
there. Yeah.
Prime. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either. I was going through and I saw it there. I was like, oh, whatever.
Like that's given me a reason to like finish watching it because it was super good, but I just couldn't find it on a good site to watch. And then I found it on Amazon Prime. I was like, I just want to finish watching this because it was.
Oh,
really good.
also with the whole Amazon Prime that I bought for a month, Kaylee's like, we have 2-day shipping now. We need to keep Prime. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I pay for my own Prime because I use shipping a lot.
We do order a lot from Amazon.
But yeah, so I go to school in Phoenix, Arizona, and I live in Southern California between LA and San Diego. It's about a 5-hour drive for me to get from one place to the other, depending on traffic. You know, normal stuff. I left on Thursday at about 5 p.m. I spent 2 hours going the distance that I would have gone in half an hour normally. Made it to the border between Arizona and California, which is this was about 4.5 hours in, and I'm like halfway there. And then my battery died. So there I am at the Chevron gas station, unable to start my car.
At least you were at a gas station.
Yeah, I bought jumper cables, and there was one other car at the gas station because it was late at night, and I was like, "Can you just like help me jump my car, please?"
Yeah. Good.
And then my key didn't work.
Oh my god.
This story just
I know
good.
it keeps getting worse.
it keeps getting worse. This is like 3 miles. Like I haven't even gotten into Arizona yet, and my battery's dead. And I'm like, well, I can't stop my car now, so I guess I just need to get there as quickly as possible. So I continued driving. It was going fine. I passed through the last populated city before a long stretch of desert until Phoenix. And about half an hour outside of that populated city, my back right tire popped. So that was a thing. So hi, Babe and Pete. They just hosted me. So my back right tire popped at the mile 59 marker on the fucking 10. Which if you don't know where that is, it's the middle of nowhere. It's like actually desert. There's nothing there. It is me in a car, and the next like exit was like 4 miles away. So I had to call roadside assistance, wait 2 hours to get somebody to show up to replace my tire.
That sounds fun.
Which is, oh my god, the guy was really nice. Fortunately, like he was just super kind and was very helpful. And was like, I will just help you fix this tire. Like I feel so bad. Like you're stuck out here in the middle of nowhere. Got that fixed. Made it to Phoenix. Stayed at a friend's place. Spent the night. Woke up to go check into my apartment and everything, and I couldn't start my car. Meaning that my alternator was broken, not just my battery. I went and bought a new battery for just a temporary fix, and then now my AC doesn't work.
Oh shit! That in
if
Arizona,
you would like to know the
that
temperature
sounds
outside
terrible.
right now, it's about 104 degrees.
Oh god, that's like 50 Celsius. I don't know if that's true. I don't think so. Sounds kind of high.
It's really high.
It's hot,
it's very
though.
warm. And in a car, it's not great.
No, not at all.
So that was my experience. And then yesterday, I took my car to the shop and got new tires. And I was like, can you fix my AC? And they were like, nope. Because their AC machine was broken or some shit. So I'm now out. I also, for some reason, didn't need to get my alternator replaced. So I'm out $500 for tires because I just wanted to make it to Phoenix. I'm out $150 for a battery. So it has been a hell of a weekend. So Dale, how's your car doing?
Fuck. Okay, so for a couple weeks, I have been having my muffler be really loud. I was like, maybe there's just a hole in my muffler. Whatever. It's kind of making me go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I've been dealing with it. The other day, it fell off. So it got worse. So it literally broke right in half. I need to have the whole like section replaced, and it's gonna be like almost $500. So yay, that's fun.
Troubles. I feel like there's so many people this week just in our friend group that have been out money for just various reasons this week because of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
So this is going to, I'm gonna have to pull from my wedding funds to replace the muffler. So that's fun. We're happy about it.
Yeah, I gotta take my car in because I have a light on. I want to find out why it's on.
Oh, I have like 8 lights that I ignore on a daily basis.
I had my tune-up done like, I don't know.
Oh, my name's Copper, and I take my car in for tune-ups like a responsible adult.
Yeah, it cost me over $3,000, Dale.
I mean, you know what would happen if I had to spend $3,000 right now? I would just cry because I can't. So
yeah,
I'm
lucky
happy.
I have money in the bank. I had money in the bank for that. So yeah, I had to, because where I live, if you don't have a car, you're shit out of luck. There's no public transport around here.
Right.
So
I mean,
I live.
Same.
Nah, there's a couple
I live.
taxis.
Well,
there's a light rail. There's like a tram, but other than that, first of all, that's like 3 miles away in 100-degree heat, and second of all, there's nothing else.
Well, there's not even that here. And for me to go to like Walmart, a cab ride would be $50 one way.
Yeah, no, I 100%
so
believe that.
Because I live in the middle of nowhere, right? So
well, like even where I live, like a ride to the airport, which is
it's
I'm assuming a smaller distance, they charge me like $60 for it because they're basically telling me, hey, you can get to the airport by walking in 100-degree heat, or you can spend $60 and be in AC.
Yeah, it's because they have to drive you, plus a lot of airports charge fees for cabs to have access to them, which is stupid.
It's all dumb.
But
they charge you out the ass for it here. That's great.
But yeah, the light is annoying me because I had everything fixed. Like the engine's working perfect, but now there's a light on. I'm like, I know you're lying to me, Mr. Light. So now I have to go get my electrical checked. Because my car is also 10 years old, right?
Oh,
so
man.
it's not a new car. It's a very older vehicle at this point. So I got to go.
My car's from 2004. It's a beater. It's not great. So when I was getting my tire fixed at literally midnight, in the middle of nowhere, the guy like who's fixing my tire, he like pulls the spare tire down and fills it up. He's like, "Hey, come here." I was like, "Okay, what's going on?" He's like, "So do you know how to read tires?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Okay, so let me teach you because it's an important life skill." So you see how this one says 0425? And I was like, yeah. He's like, that means that it was made in the 25th week of 2004. That's how old this tire is, and you're going to be driving on it for the next 2 hours.
Ooh, comfy no.
I have already replaced it. It is gone.
Okay.
But like, he was like, yeah, this wheel came with the car. Like, it's that old. So like, it wasn't great.
See,
and
my tires last longer because I live in a place that has snow, so I have to rotate my tires anyways because I have snow tires.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I literally I just buy highway tires because that's
So
what I
you
do.
drive a Charger through the snow. Just think about that. No, Challenger.
Challenger. Yes, I drive a Challenger. For those who are listening, I drive a Challenger.
So Copper is the
snow.
mean, dumb Canadian. Okay, just keep that in mind.
No.
I'm kidding.
Not necessarily dumb. Have you seen the all-wheel drive Ferrari?
Oh God, yeah, but I don't think Copper's all-wheel drive.
No, Challengers are rear-wheel drive, but it's still better than driving a small rear-wheel drive vehicle through the snow. It's still a car.
I know. I was just kidding. I just make it
for those. Although there's a lot of people who think actually legit think that way too, Dale. It's hilarious. Like, well, how can you be driving that in the snow? It's like because it's a car. Like, well, why don't you get something else? I'm like, why would I get something else when I have a car? They're like, but it's this. I'm like, and I use it to go from point A to point B.
Yeah, and then you also have the people that are like, I have the big ass 4-wheel drive SUV. I'm so good in the snow, I can go 80 and it's fine. No.
Yeah, you know what?
Do you know how many
about that is they can accelerate to 80, but man, their brakes are not any better than yours.
Nope. And like if your tires don't make contact with the concrete because there's ice, it doesn't matter how many of them turn. You're still fucked.
You would not believe the number of you might do because you actually live in a place where there's snow. The number of people in vehicles that are like 4-wheel drive, like SUVs and big trucks that are in the ditches around here, like in the winter. It's hilarious to me.
No, see, because I know the exact mentality that those people have, which is, my truck is 4-wheel drive. It can get out of anything, and it's like, well, when you can get traction. Yes.
Sure, that works. But
fun fact, snow and ice, pretty hard to get traction on unless you have some chains on your wheels.
Also, if you go in the ditch around here, it's writing your car off because the ditches that are around here aren't meant to catch cars and move them safely away from the road. They're not that type of ditch. They're drainage ditches that are 2 feet across, 2.5 feet across, and probably about 4 to 5 feet deep. So if you go off the road,
Discord, 1 second.
No, that's Copper.
That's not you. It's me.
I'm getting Copper being buggies. Are you being Copper being buggy?
Yeah, I can see myself being buggies in the red currently.
Okay, yeah, so Copper
then. Everybody's on fire right now. That's great.
That's sick.
You can kind of see
fucking Discord.
My room. I can turn the camera. I have nothing in my room. Backpack, some stuff on the floor, and Alex in the back. My desk is not this is a time to be alive.
Yeah. Okay. Is Discord still on its dumb shit right now?
Are you there?
Hello? Hello?
And Copper died.
Copper did die. He put his car in a ditch and he's dead. No!
There it goes.
There we go. Okay, good.
Yeah, it just wouldn't connect for a while there. So the cars that go off
the
here,
cars that go off don't come back.
Yeah, it's basically like they're doing 80. They go off the road and they basically drive into what is essentially a wall. Like it just smashes in the front of their vehicles. And I don't feel bad for them.
life lesson for everybody here. Just because you can go fast in your car doesn't mean shit.
Discord. Dude, let's try the sub-op one. This is getting
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's Discord itself. Let's go.
This is
to
ridiculous. I'm annoyed.
I can Ferguson.
Hello.
Hi. We're computer that. Comfy's gonna drag us into something.
Welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully this will work.
That actually just sounds smoother immediately. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, it might just be the Discord again. It does it from time to time.
Yep.
And it's random people's Discords that does it too, so
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But it
we
is
should have just swapped Discords when I first had issues. So I guess that's on
I
us.
mean, well, we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So. You never know.
Either what.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking of cars driving into ditches, yeah, like a month ago at my job, somebody just drove off the side of the road and ended up in a lake.
Oh, well, that's
We have it. So,
okay. All right.
On one side, there's like the beach, and on the other side, there's a wildlife reserve. And there's like a big swamp area with water. And man, there was a car that just was bolting up the freeway and just decided to go for a swim. I don't know why, but it is amazing what some people do.
I've seen people just drive straight off the road when the road turns because they weren't paying attention. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta hope.
But yeah.
Hey, so do you guys want to talk about some of that D23 stuff that happened this week?
Oh yeah, the Disney stuff got announced.
Yeah, we could talk about that a little
All right. So I don't know if you guys know how much I like Moon Knight.
We've seen Discord and stuff. You're very happy about Moon Knight. Never heard of Moon Knight.
There is also
for months saying Marvel needs to do something.
As another thing we should mention, though we don't really have to go into it. There's the whole Disney Sony kerfluffle. Though there is a new rumor going around about that.
Yeah, I saw that when I checked the Marvel.
I don't even know what's going on because Spider-Man has not been in the MCU, and then Spider-Man's been in the MCU. Now he's back out of it. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I'm gonna just really quick rundown, and then we're just gonna leave it because otherwise we'll talk about it for an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
Sony owns the movie production rights to Spider-Man as a character,
right?
And Marvel Studios, which is owned by Disney, owns literally everything else, and they run the MCU. They wanted to get Spider-Man in the MCU, so they struck a deal with Sony. Sony did all the operating costs, and Marvel got a 5% cut of the money, and Spider-Man was able to come into the MCU. Marvel Studios also got merchandising rights and all of that stuff on top of it. Now, they had a 5-movie contract. 5 movies have been out. They were Civil War, Spider-Man 1 and 2, and Infinity War and Endgame. Those are the 5 movies that you get Spider-Man in.
Yeah. No, that's for Marvel. He's actually under Tom Holland is actually under contract with Sony for 2 additional movies.
Yes, his contract with Sony gives him 2 more movies. Sony's contract with Marvel only gave them 5. Yeah. They were able to. Everybody knows at the end of a contract you can reevaluate. Disney said, "Cool, we want 50% of the profits."
Yes. Now they did say that we would front 50% of the money because previously Sony was putting up all the money, but we want half the profit as well.
Yeah,
which isn't an awful deal. Like you're not putting out money, so it's not as big as a risk. But
make money off of as well, and 50% is pretty fucking greedy.
It is.
I'm not saying that like.
It's also when you're doing half the cost, like half, like Sony wasn't doing the work that Marvel was. So Marvel was like, we'll do all the work, we'll put up half the funds, but we want half the profit.
Mm-hmm.
Sony was basically like, no.
Yeah.
Because
also like Disney pointed a lot of fingers at Sony really quick, and Sony was able to come back and be like, we've been trying to reach a deal because we will lose more from this, and they're being assholes about it.
And the thing, though, is that Disney has the upper hand in this case.
Disney loses nothing by losing Spider-Man because they announced this week so many things that offset all those losses. We have Moon Knight, the series, which I am just super excited about. Dracula, you big fucking nerd. We have She-Hulk series. We have Miss Marvel. We have a confirmation that Kit Harington is going to be playing Black Knight. So people think there's a Captain Britain and Black Knight movie coming.
No, wasn't he supposed to be in the Eternals?
Basically they said Kit Harington has an unnamed character, and everybody started flipping out and was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna be Wolverine!" And then Marvel was like, "Guys, he's not Wolverine. We promise. Like, he's just gonna be the Black Knight."
Who the fuck is that?
The Black Knight is a member of the Avengers.
Along with
he has a magical sword and rides on a Pegasus.
Oh, that sounds neat.
Marvel has a million characters. Like you'll never get all of them.
He's not a super well-known character for most people.
I mean, Moon Knight's not a well-known character. I had 8 people asking me what he was, and I just made an explanation that works. So he's Batman.
Crazy Batman who worships an Egyptian god who may or may not be real.
He is,
and he has multiple.
Real.
And he has multiple personalities.
Yeah, he has 3 personalities that he like splits between, and he never really knows what it is. He's crazy.
Interesting.
I posted a couple panels in a couple of the Discord chats here, and they were amazing.
Yeah. My hope though is that the new rumor we have for Spider-Man Sony deal is correct.
I hope so. I really want it to be done well because I think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man we've had.
Well,
not to discount the other 2. I think that Tobey Maguire was an amazing Peter Parker, and I think that Andrew Garfield was an amazing Spider-Man.
Are we ignoring the terrible faces Tobey Maguire made in those movies? Oh man,
I don't like him in those movies, but I will ignore them because actors portray things as they're told to portray things, and they're not in charge of the final cut. So
yeah, look at Daenerys in the last season of Game of Thrones. I mean, what?
It is what it is. But yeah, so the new rumor, for those who are curious, because we've mentioned it,
yeah, I don't know what it
is basically that it's a 6-picture deal with Tom Holland, with an option for a 7th. So we'd get 3 more Spider-Man films after the 3rd one. The 3rd one would basically be like the ending of him in high school. The next 3, which would be a new trilogy, would be him in college, where he'd meet up with people like Iceman and Firestar. We'd also get him in a couple of Avenger films, as well as with a Fantastic Four. And the rumor says that Marvel would helm and co-finance all Spider-Man related movies for 30% of the profits.
See, that's like somebody posted that as like this should be the what they should come to as a solution.
And Sony would get the distribution rights, but Disney would have all the exclusive digital and online rights because they want to retain that for Disney Plus.
Right.
And Marvel would helm and co-finance Spider-Verse live-action spin-offs under the same terms. This would also move Venom into the MCU, and Sony is according to this, supposed to be given permission for creating live-action TV shows based on the Spider-Verse.
I'd watch Spider-Verse.
So they would get rights for making TV shows, something for Spider-Man and Spider-Man related stuff, which is something they do not own currently.
Yes.
They only have movie rights, so they can make TV shows, but those shows would probably be broadcast on Disney-owned stations or Disney Plus.
Probably Disney Plus or Disney XD. If it was an animated Spider-Verse, I'd see it on Disney XD.
Yeah.
If it was live-action Spider-Verse, I'd see it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and you might even see it on Disney Plus, even if it's animated.
Yeah, no, or you could see it on both.
It might be on both too. Yeah. So,
but also,
so that wouldn't be a bad deal.
Mandalorian.
Yes, there was also the trailer for the Mandalorian.
I thought you said something about a DeLorean. I was like, wait, back to the future stuff. Hold
on. I'm waiting for the announcement of them remaking those. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for it.
Matrix 4. What the fuck?
Yes, we had the announcement for the Matrix 4, which makes no sense.
Oh God, because Neo and not Niobe.
Even when they were awake, they were already in another level of the Matrix.
So, Trinity.
Yeah,
if that
Neo
ends up
Trinity,
being, if that's the thing.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, so Neo and Trinity are actors, so Keanu Reeves are returning. Apparently, a lot of the cast is. The problem with this is that most of them are dead, including Neo and Trinity.
Yeah.
And it's basically, I'm in great fear that they're basically going to go, it was all a dream. You're still in the Matrix. Ha ha ha.
To be fair, probably the best thing they could do is to say that everything from 2 and 3 was cut and then just remake it.
Yeah, except they said it's a sequel
don't
to
know.
the first trilogy, so it's
I
literally
know.
taking up like I don't know what they're gonna do.
I,
Yeah,
I,
it is
I
literally the movie no one asked for or wanted.
yeah,
Like,
I watched the first one and loved it. I never watched the second or third ones because I was just told they're terrible and I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm
basically.
still waiting for new footage of the new Ghostbusters movie that we're getting. That is a direct sequel to 2, where they're basically saying the new Ghostbusters with the all-female cast didn't exist.
Thank God. That was not a good movie.
It was
It was
not a good
not, and
movie.
it
It was
wasn't because of the
bad.
cast. It
No,
like there's some
no, it
funny
was just
people. Like,
bad.
yeah, there's some really funny people in that cast and some good actors. It was just
Oh,
not
no,
well written.
the
It's just
cast
a
was
bad movie.
amazing. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Like the cast was awesome. They're all such funny women, and they had Chris Hemsworth. How do you
yeah,
ruin that?
Yeah.
yeah. They had
Yes.
great people in the film. It's just it was so poorly written. Like it's just
Yeah.
It's because their mentality wasn't let's make a new Ghostbusters movie, and the characters can happen to be women. It's let's make a female Ghostbusters movie.
yes, yeah.
Like the
That's
priority was changing the gender of the protagonists, which ended up being a bad movie. I don't care one way or another if the main
no.
character is a dick or not. Like
I want a good movie with a good story, interesting characters. That's funny when it's supposed to be a comedy.
Right.
yeah, like Lara Croft in like the Tomb Raider games is fucking great.
Like, go look at Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids,
That movie is hilarious.
that is a movie.
Does
Oh my
does
God.
anybody care it's a female cast? No. Does everybody enjoy it for the comedy that it is, men and women? Yes, it's funny.
Freaking idiots.
Funny movie.
Yeah, but so we saw a trailer for The Mandalorian. Somebody got cut in half by a closing aperture door, which I was super.
Wait, what? I haven't seen the trailer yet.
Oh, so go watch it. Basically, there's one scene where it's very short. He's in a bar fight with these two guys. One guy starts running, and he hooks the guy by the leg, so he's like stuck in where the door would be. Then he shoots the door controls, and the door like is an aperture from a camera, so it shuts circularly and cuts him in half.
Oh man.
Like they don't show it like they cut away, but it's very obvious what is happening and that it was 100% intentional.
That's
Nice.
They show some
That's
footage
cool.
of IG-88 fighting, which is amazing. That's the assassin droid.
Yes.
And they show a bunch of other clips. It looks really pretty. It looks like it has really high production value, which I didn't expect.
I'm expecting
Not
all
because
the
it's anything, but because it's a TV show, and generally production value goes down.
Well, there's the thing though. I'm expecting that Disney has basically thrown movie money at all these TV shows. These big
That's what I'm seeing. Like
headlining shows. Like all the Marvel ones, the Mandalorian, I think they're throwing buckets of money at them because they're like, if people love these things, we've seen what, things like was it the Living Dead show and the other stuff on like HBO, like they've seen what these shows do in terms of moving merchandise and product.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't care if these things are running a little in the red or they're only breaking even in terms of advertisement. If we can sell $2 billion worth of merchandise, we're freaking golden because that's where we make our money at. And that's where Disney makes their money is merchandise.
By the third week of The Mandalorian, because it is a weekly show, it's not going to be a binge show, which is smart on Disney's part. They keep people talking about it.
And it keeps people coming back to the service.
And people keep using Disney Plus. I guarantee by the third week, there will be Mandalorian helmets that are specifically based off of Pedro Pascal's helmet.
Oh, God, yes.
In stores like Walmart and Target, there are going to be both of his weapons, his rifle and his pistol, available, branded as the Mandalorian.
Yep.
And there's going to be Halloween. No, there's not going to be Halloween costumes because it's wrong timing. But
how close are we to Christmas before release?
It starts on November 12th. I don't know how long it is, but it'll run through Christmas. So
okay, there is a toy line already set to place to go as soon as Christmas rolls around. 100%.
Yeah, no, like they're going to be selling merch everywhere.
Absolutely.
It's genius. Also, we did get confirmation that Ewan McGregor is doing an Obi-Wan Kenobi series because
Yay!
And that show I'm probably not going to watch because I don't give a flying fuck about Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm glad he's dead.
I love Ewan McGregor.
He's the second worst Jedi.
Oh, I don't think so.
The first worst Jedi being Luke himself. Luke is the worst Jedi possible.
Luke's a pretty goddamn bad Jedi.
Yeah, Luke kind of sucks.
He's
Honestly.
like
Not kind of sucks. He's the worst hero I've ever seen in fiction. It's like, I'm gonna do this thing that all these smart people are telling me not to do, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Like, but if you do that, people are gonna die. I'm gonna do it anyways. Are you
Can we
an
get a
idiot?
Mace Windu movie? That'd be cool.
Luke was like a jackass in the original trilogy, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, he's such a dick.
Jedi, he like is a better character, but he's still like he's like super mellow all of a sudden. He's like a monk after like the first 2 episodes where he's just a dick to everybody and everything, and he's always mad and angsty. To be fair, he's like 19, but like
Yeah, but that's still the character at that point. It's not. Yeah, it's not a. I do not like him as a
I
character.
wanted to go to Tashi Station and pick up some power converters. Just
And then when you had the new ones come out, and people are like, "Well, he wouldn't leave like that." It's like, and he wouldn't like try to kill him. Like, yeah, he would. He has a history of really shitty decisions made at the spur of the moment that are awful. This goes right in line with them. Like,
yeah, no, like it 100% fit his character.
it's like, oh, my nephew might become evil someday. I'm gonna kill him while he's sleeping.
Yeah.
To anybody else, this is an awful idea that you would never
Well,
compliment.
I mean,
And
he
he's like,
did
"I'm gonna
change
put my
his
lady-"
mind and not try to
Yeah,
murder
at the
him.
last second.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, it's not. It
people
doesn't
would
make it
not
any
even get
better.
in- like,
If
most
I
people
had
wouldn't go from that thought to like,
got the gun, loaded it, broken into your bedroom, and pointed it at your head. You're not going to be You're not going to be glad that I didn't pull the trigger.
you're still gonna be mad about it. It's like, you
Yeah,
still tried
no,
to kill me. It's like,
I know.
well, technically, I did pull the trigger. It's like, bitch, please.
Yeah,
It's like,
I know.
listen, I was going to. And it's like imagine I do that, but then you pull out your own gun and shoot me in the leg and run away. Like, it's like I could tell you, like, I didn't shoot you. I wasn't going to. I thought about it, but I wasn't going to. And you're just gonna be like, bitch, you only didn't shoot me because I shot you in the fucking leg. So, yeah, crazy how that works. Crazy how Luke is just the best.
And
yeah,
people claim that like he's the best Jedi. I'm like, you are on crack.
Oh no, absolutely.
He might
not.
be like the most, I guess, powerful one, but like good. No, he's not a good decision maker.
I'm glad that after this final movie, they're moving away from the whole Skywalker crap.
Yeah.
I am sick of the Skywalkers.
Away from the Skywalker saga. Like, I've said this a million times in like friend groups and stuff. Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie because they made a movie in the Star Wars universe and not a Star Wars movie.
Honestly, Rogue Squadron is like it's so good.
It's such a good movie. Even the Solo movie, despite it not doing great at box office, wasn't a bad movie.
Right.
It's a good movie. Is it the best Star Wars movie? No, that goes to Rogue One, but it's still better than like all the prequel stuff for sure.
I really hated Last Jedi. There really wasn't much about it that I liked.
The Last Jedi does have my favorite scene in any Star Wars movie, though.
Which one?
When the admiral of the ship or vice admiral.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. How it
flies
looks.
the ship into the that thing is great.
One of the coolest scenes, and it was something that I had always thought about since the first time I watched Star Wars Episode 4: New Hope. Because
what are they doing? It's like, are they flying their ship into us? Oh wait, that's bad for us.
Han has a throwaway line in Episode 4 when they're trying to jump to light speed, and he's talking about how they need to make the calculations or they might come out inside an asteroid or something and die.
Yeah.
And I was always like, I want to know what happens when you do that. And then
and here they're like, this is what happens.
That was like 15 years of gratification for me.
Everything blows up, and it's really pretty.
The part that really sells that scene, though, is the fact that they did the smart scientific thing and the complete audio cut. It's silent in space. There are no explosion sounds.
It is dark. It is vivid, and it is quiet. And it is it's such a good scene. Like, for all of the bad things in that movie, that scene, like, standalone, is amazing. So
there's some not great things in that movie, but there's
a lot of stuff in that movie I don't
That's
like.
the same for every Star Wars movie. They're objectively great, cult
Star
movies,
Wars is one
but
of the most beloved franchises of all times, and it has 2 good movies.
Yeah, they have problems. Like, there are movies that are riddled with like just awful problems from a cinematography standpoint, but they're still decent movies.
Great at world building, but he's pretty shit at writing.
Yes. Yeah. Oh God. If anybody's ever read the original Star Wars,
the original like A New Hope, like there was no reason for the Death Star to exist. It didn't do anything. Like they just destroyed it. It didn't blow up Alderaan in the original script. His wife edited that in. Like, how bad did it have to be? Like, she got an Oscar for editing it because she saved the entire movie. Which is crazy.
Yeah, so I'm curious where Disney's going with a lot of stuff. I'm very curious to see. I still want them to announce what is going to be on Disney Plus besides the like headlining shows they keep announcing. Like, I want to know what catalog of their shit is on there. That's what I want to know.
They did actually post. They posted on Twitter. It was I think 500 plus movies, every single Disney property, and over 2,000 episodes of TV shows.
Yeah, but I want to know, like, are the classic cartoons like
yes.
Gargoyles and Tailspin, stuff like that I grew up with on there?
Allegedly, they're supposed to be like literally everything. Movies from the vault. Like,
so I would, you know, I don't pay for anything service wise. Like, I don't pay for Amazon. I don't pay for Netflix. I have a Netflix thing through my family because they have multiple viewing thing.
You get multiple accounts. Also, Disney Plus will allow you to have like 7 accounts on it.
What is the price for Disney Plus? Isn't it $6.99?
$7 a month.
Yeah, it's $7. It's very cheap.
Listen,
isn't there like a bundle deal where you can get like Hulu as well for
but it's
like
the
10
Hulu
or something like that
with commercials?
Yeah.
So okay, really quick, Hulu's stupid. Fucking Hulu.
There's nothing on Hulu. I was talking with Kaylee the other day. It's like, why do we still have Hulu? There's not a whole lot we watch.
Because Disney hasn't converted their people from Hulu to Disney Plus yet. That's what's going to happen. Disney's going to move everybody who has Hulu over to Disney Plus and then get rid of Hulu.
Probably.
Yeah, Disney owns Hulu, so I mean,
that's what they're going to do. They're not going to compete with themselves. They're just going to shift everybody over.
I think what they're actually going to do is they're going to start separating their content. So you have stuff that's specifically branded Disney on Disney Plus, and then you have stuff that isn't specifically branded Disney, but is owned by them and their subsidiaries on Hulu.
I don't think they will. They don't really want to split their customer base.
I think they want to double dip, though.
Yeah.
They might, but I don't think they're going to do it.
Smart move. I'm saying that's probably what they're going to do.
No, I think they're going to move. They're keeping Hulu around just so they can transition everybody over.
But why would they not want to have a second subscription service for people to use Copper? I feel like they will.
Because it's double the manpower to run.
It's double the manpower to run. And if you as a consumer, say you are spending $12 a month for Hulu because you're paying for no ads because you're not a piece of garbage.
Is this the part where I say that I watch ads on Hulu?
I have rants about what.
Look, I don't even watch Hulu, so.
Hulu allows you to get free Hulu with Spotify, but you have to watch ads. Hulu allows you to get Hulu with Disney Plus bundles, but you have to watch ads. Hulu allows you to watch TV through Hulu, but you have to watch ads if you buy that package. That doesn't, like, you're spending $40 a month and you still watch ads. Like, come on. What the fuck, Hulu? And that's like the on-demand stuff, not like you're watching live TV and you have to sit through those ads. Like the on-demand things you're watching, you have to watch ads.
Gotcha.
Which is it's dumb and stupid and annoying. But like, so if you're paying $12 a month for that, and you have to pay another $7 a month for Disney Plus, like suddenly you're paying almost $20 a month for 2 streaming services. One of them you're going to be using way more than the other because you can't really watch both at the same time.
No.
And then eventually you'll end up cutting the one that you don't use, which you just said you don't watch anything on Hulu, so you'd cut Hulu.
Right. Yeah.
So
I'll probably end up dropping Hulu. I'll probably even drop Hulu before. When does when does that launch? The November?
November.
Yeah, okay.
November 12th is The Mandalorian, so.
Are they going to do the whole, like, dropping it so you can binge?
No.
Damn it. See, I like the Netflix thing where it's like, here's a season.
Oh no, they're going to be doing that for
some things,
certain things, just not for that one.
Man, motherfuckers.
Because if they can keep you,
shows, they're going to do week to week.
Yeah, it's basically to build, at least until the first year or two is done, they're going to do that. It's to build people the habit of coming there every week to watch something, especially if they go, this show is Monday, this show is Tuesday, this show is Wednesday, right? You're there every day, you watch one thing, you're like, well, the episode's over now. What should we watch? Oh, there's this thing it's recommending to us right there, right? Like it's
So we're basically rebuilding cable companies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we've
Except-
been doing for the past 5 years.
you got to remember.
I know.
A lot of cable companies are owned by Disney.
It's true.
They like that structure.
That structure makes money. It's not consumer friendly.
No, it's not.
Which is intentional.
It's
Like-
business friendly. That's what it's for. You're like, we're gonna run it this way.
Exactly. So, like, if you're running a business, it's a smart thing to do. I'm trying to think what else we got.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Breaking Bad movie got a release date. And a
Yeah.
trailer.
And I don't care. I've
Wait,
never
is
even
this gonna
seen
be the
Breaking Bad,
It's
so-
gonna be like Jesse Pinkman's like
Yeah, so
continuation.
the trailer is, I think it's supposed to be Skinny Pete. He looks really different though.
Who the fuck
it-
was Skinny Pete? I don't remember.
He was
Wow.
he was one of the druggies that hung around with Jesse all the time.
Okay,
It was Skinny Pete, Badger, and the other dude.
I remember
Guys.
Badger. Badger sounds familiar.
Badger and Skinny Pete were the dynamic duo.
Gotcha.
Together.
Okay.
So it was him in like an interrogation room with police there, and he's like, "Listen, I saw what they did to Jesse. Like I saw what they did to him. They like hooked him up and forced him to keep cooking and threatened his like loved ones, and like I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's doing. He could be fucking anywhere. But all I know is even if I did, I wouldn't tell you anything. I'm not gonna help you put him back in a cage." And then October 11th is when we get the movie on Netflix. So
Neat.
I'm really excited for it because I liked Breaking Bad and Jesse had a really good character.
Yeah.
So
Very exciting. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot else going on. I played the Call of Duty 2v2 alpha a little bit. Gunplay
was
felt
that?
nice. The gunplay felt very nice. Not super into the 2v2 stuff. Like that is not a game mode that
mouse and keyboard or controller?
It's
Controller.
on PlayStation, so
they do have
Yeah.
mouse and keyboard support. However, I heard everyone saying like you can just plug a mouse and keyboard in and play, but I heard like everybody saying it just doesn't feel good. It's not right.
Apparently, it's like simulating thumbsticks for it, which is weird.
Yeah. Apparently, for the next beta, which is literally the weekend after Borderlands 3 launches, they're adding more options on mouse and keyboard. See, so I was all like, I'm going to play the next alpha. And now I'm like, I probably won't. I don't know.
Well,
it's like, the weekend right after Borderlands 3? Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I might play it for a few hours.
Like, I've had my apartment for 3 days and I haven't plugged anything in.
Yeah.
I'm the worst.
But no, the
And my-
gunplay felt really nice, and I'm excited for
So-
this game.
You're in an apartment now, not a dorm, eh?
It's a campus apartment, so it's pretty much the same as a dorm, but I have my own room and like a kitchen and stuff.
Home room is better.
Yeah. This room is larger than my room was last year, so I'm actually going to try to set up an electronic drum set. Right.
Maybe your fire alarm won't go off randomly.
It's going to go off randomly.
Hmm.
But it's like the fire alarms are the type that they have a laser going across it and a sensor. And
Oh,
basically,
God.
if anything interrupts that laser, then it sets off the fire alarm. That means that it can be set off if you are cooking. It can be set off if you took a shower and there was too much steam and you didn't turn the fan on. It can be set off by the two most common ones are people cooking popcorn in their microwaves and being really bad at it because I don't know how you're bad at cooking popcorn, but cool.
I've seen people burn macaroni and cheese.
Dude, I had a friend who didn't put water in Easy Mac and almost burned her house down.
Oh my god.
The fire department came
Okay,
and post-it note and put it on the microwave that said put water in your Easy Mac.
look, I worked with a guy who did that.
High school at the time.
I worked with a guy who did that. He almost set the break room for a warehouse on fire.
Christ.
It is like
It's like,
it-
what?
it- when you're a person with common sense, and the other thing is like people just like vape in their rooms and don't think about it. And then
Yeah,
just
that'll
off
set
the
it
fire
off.
one. It's like,
Yeah.
when you're a normal goddamn person, you think about it for 20 seconds. You're like, I shouldn't do this if I don't want to set off the fire alarm. But
Hmm.
if you're in a building that is 6 stories tall, has 30 rooms on each floor, each housing 4 people, it's a lot of people.
To be fair, I can't really say anything. When I lived in the dorms at my university, the first time I went to school,
Mhm.
I lived in a 12-story building.
Yeah.
Had maybe, I don't know, 50 people a floor or more. We blew the power for the whole building
Yeah.
because we were making wine.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't
That's
relate. I've
hilarious.
never been in a building like that.
My fucking sophomore year, I had an apartment and I was in there and I was streaming. I was live. I was new to streaming. I was on Twitch at the time, but was in the middle of playing Overwatch with some friends and power goes out. I'm like, God damn it. I'm going to go check on my neighbors and see what's going on and call some people about it. And I walk out of my room. My apartment's all dark. I go into the hallway and all the lights are on. And I knock on my neighbor's door. I'm like, hey, yo, Austin, is your power on? He's like, yeah, why? And I was like, mine's not. So I had to call the school. I was like, hey, so I kind of don't have electricity and I kind of need that to do my homework. So what the fuck, guys? And they were like, oh yeah, sorry, somebody accidentally cut a cable and every room that ends in 13 in your building has no electricity.
That ends in 13.
What?
13. Like, it was literally just bad luck numbers. It's like every room that ends in 13, you're screwed. I was like, God damn it. So we
that is a weird way to wire a building.
it because like you go outside and you look and like all the lights are on, and then like 113, 213, 313, all the way up to 613, all of them are just dark. And it was like, what the fuck? Like, how do you even accomplish that?
I'd like to know how you wire a building like that and have them consider it okay.
I don't know, dude.
Dale's just shaking his head because he works for
Oh no, I was just looking at the thing that I just timed out. I kind of got distracted.
Yeah, I know. I saw
Anywho.
that.
Ah, dang it, I didn't. You'll have to screenshot it for me. Oh my god damn, is sometimes people can be really dumb, and when you have a high concentration of people my age in a building all on their own,
There's a lot of dumb things
especially if
that
it's especially when it's the first time. Like the dorm I lived in was full of people Comfy's age and a little younger.
Never been on their own before, don't know how to deal with it.
Never been on their own before because it's their first time away from home. Most of them are like from halfway across the country or farther.
And especially like I'm going to a religious school. Like there are a lot of people here that were like super like repressed when they were kids and were told like don't go out, don't go drinking, don't go smoking, don't do any of that stuff. That you're not allowed to do that. No premarital sex. Come on, kids, be good Christian kids. And then they get to college and they just go fucking wild.
Yeah, because the dorm I lived in, so where I went to school was a port city, just to add fuel to the fire, and the dorm itself was a co-ed dorm. And it wasn't like boy floor, girl floor kind of crap. It was every floor it went boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl for the rooms. Right? Co-ed showers, co-ed bathrooms, everything. So yeah, that's a good way for things to occur, to put it mildly.
That's sex. Sorry. I'm not.
So there's a lot of interesting things that went on in that dorm, and I imagine still do.
Yeah, no, it's like people make jokes all the time about college students being fucking idiots. It's because you get like a high concentration of young people.
Oh yeah, you put a bunch of people who are that young, and everybody knows young people do occasional stupid things.
And probably for the first time away from their parents who yell at them.
But if you stick them all in a group, they're going to make some bad choices as a group, because you've got one bonehead in the group who says, "Hey, let's do this," and other people are like, "Well, I don't want to seem not cool."
Well, there's actually scientific studies about this. It was based on political leanings, but it's basically if you take all of these people who are leaning in one direction and put them in a room together, they will lean further.
Yeah, it intensifies. Groupthink is a thing. Like
it's not even necessarily groupthink. It's that one person will go further, and then one person goes even further than that. Like they're trying to one up each other.
Yep.
Like
especially if it's men.
Groupthink in the echo chamber of, hey, what if I set that car on fire? Yeah, dude, that'd be hilarious. Like that's an echo chamber that's bad, but like
it gets worse when it's guys, because young
dumb.
men are
really dumb.
Really stupid.
I saw the best thing earlier because somebody was talking about, like, there was a post that was like, it looks like women are better drivers than men. Get over it, boys. Like one of those like sassy like articles that literally means nothing because it's a stupid statistic. And my favorite comment on it was, in my region, girls get into more accidents than guys, but they're a lot slower, more like parking lot stuff. But whenever guys do get into accidents, they scream "witness me" first, and then ram 80 miles per hour into a tree. So, because that's what guys do for some reason. I don't know. Not me, but
yeah.
I just yell "witness me" and then my tires pop.
Then your battery dies.
Dude, I sat there on the side of the road just like, I'm not going to stop my car. It's 90 degrees outside at midnight and the AC is running. And if I stop my car, I will not be able to start it and I will die.
Yeah. So yeah, we just came full circle. So that's fun. So yeah. Next week is going to be how heavy are my dumbbells? We're going to be covering that. And then the next episode of Vinland Saga, which I'm looking forward to. I actually look forward to the show every week, which is weird for me.
I really want to see or hear Dale's reaction the first time he sees the opening for the show. So if you can post your reaction based on just the opening credit scene, would be great.
By the way, I did watch the first episode of that show where, I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called Sorazanmai, where basically the Kappa King sucks organs out of people's assholes and turns them into frogs. And there's a whole lot of butt play.
Yeah, he turns them into the Kappas and they have to go do stuff to get back their souls or whatever it is. Yeah.
All right. That sounds fucking like something. Comfy, where can people find you on the internet?
I was like, we are not talking about this.
No, I am very aware. You can find me at mixer.com/twitter.com/instagram.com/Confamous. Super easy to find. If you want to see something cool, tomorrow we're going to be checking out Control by Remedy and 505. Got early access to it. It's going to be super cool tomorrow.
Neat.
Sometime
Have
probably
fun.
in the afternoon. Hey, Copper, where can people find you?
You can find me at Copperline Art and Copperline Designs on Twitter and Instagram, or just copperlinedesigns.com. And I have an idea of what we should watch next week.
I do too. And
Okay.
then Dale, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, you can find me being scared at mixer.com/Mr. Vengeance, Instagram and Twitter at _Mr. Vengeance. So yeah, next week, how heavy are my dumbbells? Gonna be fun. Yeah, we'll see you guys then. Have good nights and weeks and stuff.
My butt hurts so fucking much.